Hey, it's Rita Von Howard. We're back live on the Woman Show to Experience Show. We are now about to do a live with the founder and director of Black Girls Love Math, Atiyah Harmon. Hope she gets on. I did invite her, so I'm waiting to get back to me. Okay. Waiting for the invite to send the invite to join us. So I hope everyone's doing well on the Saturday. It's a beautiful Saturday. It's sunny outside, but it's cold, and we still got residents from the snow from yesterday, you know, but we are trying to make it through and just get me on our way. So, hey, Darius, Rita Vaughn, how you doing? I hope you're doing well. Hope you could be a guest on our show. Let's see. I can. We got it right. Oh, we got it right. Okay. I went. Oh, that goes. There we go. Hey, good afternoon. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Doing good. How's your day so far?
My bad. It's good. Thanks. Yours? Happy Saturday.
Yes, it's going good. It's a little cold, but we are making it through. It's around a snowstorm, but we're making it through. Trying to make ends meet. Trying to stay focused and just not let the snow be on our way of what we're supposed to do out here. In the community. So,
That's right.
I want to ask you, how was your week?
My week was really good. A snow day is always great, but it was able to make me be able to focus more on our programming that starts tomorrow in Brooklyn. I'm incredibly excited about that. But it was just been a really good week. How about you?
Yes. So yesterday this week was kind of crazy. We had MLK Day on Monday. The service at one of the schools that we're just partners with. Then
Mm-hmm.
Tuesday, Wednesday was kind of like we had like two hour days, delays
Mm-hmm.
days. So kind of puts some of the programming back a little bit. Now I do my job in
Yeah.
some of the sessions and had to change up, make some changes based on decisions. Then Thursday I had an event at my job where we did like a showcase of the after school programs,
Mm-hmm.
and they appointed Philadelphia City Commissioner Omar Sabir came and spoke to the kids. So
Oh, that's
I was
awesome.
very nervous about him coming
What you did?
because we weren't sure because of the weather that he was coming or not. But he showed up. He still showed up. He sold out, spoke to the kids, told them about a job opportunity, for them to work with him during that campaign season, get extra money. So it was really a blessed opportunity, and the staff on my school was very supportive of what I was doing, and they were really was appreciative of what I've done for them and for the students there at the school. And yesterday was a snow day, and it is the first time in a long time that I really didn't do anything. I shoveled the snow. Obviously, did some work from home, but I didn't get in the car or did anything. I didn't like move or go anywhere. So it felt kind of weird staying home, not doing anything. So that was kind of weird, a weird dynamic. But I made it. It kind of went by fast, But today we're back at it here, trying to make moves and just trying to be safe out here. Just get out of the house, get some air, even though it's still cold outside. But we try to do what best we can do. So
Mm-hmm. Can I add something to this week that it slipped my mind but not my heart?
yeah,
The first thing is Black Girls of Math was happy to be at Girard College on MLK Day just to see all the support and the resources that are open in the community. Made some great connections and looking forward to hopefully serving as a table next year. The second thing, Thursday night was the inaugural ball for PYB, their gala,
yes,
which for
yes,
Olympic
yes.
basketball. One of my board members, Julia Sabezi, was there. The chief strategy officer. They did an amazing job. I mean, Akbar, the whole PYB staff. I can't wait to see what the six-man center will be, and it already looks like it's a great start. So just wanted to make sure that I shouted out that we were out in the snow and everything.
Yeah,
So it was some
y'all was
great,
out there first
yeah.
night. I know first night was the
Mm-hmm.
opening night, the gala, and I know a lot of people came out to support that in the eve before the storm. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I give a big shout out to them.
Yep.
They've been working hard for this the past over years, 5+ years to make this
Mm-hmm.
happen on the new space. And I think it came out wonderful. The
Mm-hmm.
event was, despite what was about to happen, the storm. They,
Absolutely.
they, they could have pushed it back, but they still kept it happening because it didn't snow. But everybody had a good time. Everybody made it up before the storm. So so that's truly a blessing and truly a wonderful event. And you spoke about Jabari College. I was I was part of it before a couple of years, but I'm volunteering to go back there next year because I get emails from them around every year about participating and being engaged. But next year we're trying to make that move to be part of them next year, doing a significant project for their community. And plus, I used to work at Gerard College, as we talked about last week. So
Mm-hmm.
we pretty much talked about last week your journey to wherever you are. We pretty much not going to add the same questions because we're going to follow what we talked about, and then also talk about the plans for the Black Girls Love Math and what do you see yourself as it progresses and as it thrives as the more years come. So I want to ask you about Dr. King. Um, how has the life and the service of Dr. King impacted your life as a Black woman and an entrepreneur and as now a leader of one of the most prominent organizations in our community?
Oh wow, that was an amazing compliment. I would say if I can talk about Dr. King in the context of two very personal things for me. One thing is I asked my mother and my father where were they when he was shot and killed. And if you talk to anyone from that generation, they remember exactly where they were, how school got out early, just the sheer level of disappointment in our communities on what he was and what he represented. So I think that for me, my father was an activist. He was in Black Panther and things like that. My mother was very heavy in education, thinking about what Dr. King did alongside that was public and non-public to really change the trajectory for access, for affirmative action, for Black people to know their rights and to fight both violently and non-violently. Well, not violently, but non-violently in a way that was very strategic at such a young age is inspiring. The way he was able to galvanize the community, and then even realize towards the end how maybe he led his people to the wrong way. So able to honestly think about integration versus what was best for Black people at the time. Definitely, it's something that I continue to look forward. And then in the spirit of service and what I do for the community in our organization is all about serving our community, our girls targeted, but the greater community at large.
Yes, and I totally agree. That Dr. King has a profound impact in my life, and
Mm-hmm.
in terms of doing service and doing the work he was doing, and I started doing service. I remember back in college, and again, a broad understanding of who he was and what he did, and knowing the intellect that he had and the foresight of what was going on, and he wanted to make sure that our rights were heard, or we wanted to be accepted by the masses of America at the time. And back at that time, black people couldn't really do anything, But he saw the foresight, make sure we had foreign rights, make sure that we're equal, make sure right to vote, and make sure that we were understood that our service is not in vain, that our service is not in vain for those being risking their lives to get arrested, to get water, to get
Absolutely.
hosed on, and even get shot and get killed just
Mm-hmm.
for people here in this area now, 2024, to have the right to vote, and have it as same education as white people, So it may be different, but it still had the opportunity to be in the same playing field, So it's so important that we keep Dr. King's legacy alive as we go in 2024,
Mm-hmm.
keep going forward because there's still a lot of things that's going on, and I feel like the worst thing is that we are doing is that we are killing each other. I think that if we start doing that, I'm not talking about just violently, but by like not collaborating and knowing each other, try to go against each other and little things and not support one another. I think that if we were more united front and more together, on the same issues, maybe a lot of issues will be resolved. A lot of things will be a better place. We going forward and not staying stagnant or going backwards. Right now, we're in the new era. We have a black woman as a mayor of Philadelphia, and I think it's a huge step. But at the same time, all of us had to chip in and do our part, make sure this city becomes a better place one step at a time. It's not going to take overnight, but it will take work and committed people to do the work, and people putting their work into actions and not just do the work that they were called to do and just do their job and do their assignment and learn how to partner together so we can make our city a better place, especially our young people, our youth who are coming along now, who are about to vote, who are in the stage now that technology is so accessible to them, they can research on their own about Dr. King, Malcolm X, and Medgar Evers, and people like that who were the champions of our community, that were trying to do things right for our people and make sure that we have access to education and make sure that since the resources that people can take advantage of and galvanize to as we move forward in 2024. So
to add two things, and then I'll let us go to the next question. First, I was supposed to give you things more about Dr. King. At the Girard visit at MLK Day, they talked about the desegregation process, and Dr. King was one of the people who came to Girard to advocate for the law for it to be desegregated. In addition to, if you think about the civil rights movement in totality, Black Girls Love Math took as part of the blueprint from Bob Moses for the Algebra Project, which helped for access and education, and Satima Cart. So thinking about all the people that encompassed the work that pushed Dr. King forward, he was the orator and he was the leader, and it was people in the background doing some of the work. We like to think about that in conjunction with what he did. But that was my last spiel about him, so I'll let you go ahead.
So you said something about an Algebra Project.
Mm-hmm.
So what is that?
So Bob Moses was a lead activist during the civil rights movement. He was a part of SNCC, and he founded the Algebra Project. Unfortunately, he transitioned about 2 years ago. I was able to meet him, though, so he's done a lot of work with pushing advanced mathematical thinking for black and brown, for the ways that access to algebra can lead to college pathways. It's so many research about like Algebra 1 being a gatekeeper before college students are not. So thinking about how to best support his work to underscore our community when we think about voting rights, when we think about equal pay, when we think about all of these things, we also need to think about, and I know you work in schools as well, about access to education and how to best support that from a freedom fighter lens.
Yes, I definitely agree with that. I think our students need to be access to opportunities and resources that can benefit them in the long run. But the fact is, we gotta get those resources out there to them, so they can be exposed to it and know what it's about, and not let them not that day go by and not them know what's going on, what's out here, what's available to them that they could benefit them from in the long run. So, for those who the people are watching right now that were on, that were off, I want you to explain what is Black Girls Love Math and what's the mission and vision of that, and what does it what is that entail, so for people who are watching can know more about your organization.
Sure. Black Girls Love Math is a 501c3 nonprofit founded in June 2020. Our mission is to cultivate a positive math identity for all those who identify as Black girls. Our vision is to exponentially increase the number of Black women in STEM careers by 2035. Currently is 2%. We want to exponentially increase that to 8%, which means qubit. Our work, we do out of school time activities. We don't intend to go into the school space. We go into the building, but not during the day. We want to provide an alternative and safe space for girls to feel comfortable exploring and learning math in ways that are more relevant to them. Our goal is to drive fearless learning. So we do that with twice a week after school programming that talks about sheroes, women in STEM. Why do I need to learn STEM? This woman learns and look what she's doing. We build a community that's centered on math, but also camaraderie and collaboration. And then we offer a Saturday program, 6 weeks to the greater communities. One in Philadelphia, one in Brooklyn. It's the Sunday Slam starting tomorrow. So people that don't go to the schools that partner with us, they can still get access to our amazing resources.
Mm. Wonderful. That's wonderful. So, yes, I feel it's so important to have that in the community and promoting STEM and also promoting our heroes of Black women who were estimated in math fields that they women, girls may not know about on a regular basis,
Mm-hmm.
that have profound impact in our world through their gifting at being smart academically and took it to another field and did well with that. So, can you give me a hero that you might know may not know you may not know about you had growing up that really inspires you that maybe that people may not know who they are?
My mother.
Mm.
If I had to say, a hero that a lot of people don't know is my mother. And Gail Norfleet, I founded Black Girls Love Math on her birthday. This year's gala, she unfortunately transitioned unexpectedly, but we're doing a scholarship in her honor. She was an educator in Philadelphia School District, and I had to go to schools in North Philly. I'm from West Atlanta, Uptown, but my mom took me to work with her from first through fifth grade, and being exposed at William Dick, 25th and Diamond. I was in a citywide math competition, and then the fifth grade year we had something called Project Seed back then, which people came in and helped us get ready for algebra. So my love of both school and math, she fostered very early and put me in the right spaces for that to happen. So she wrote because that Black Girls Love Math wouldn't exist if my mother didn't plant those seeds.
So as an entrepreneur, right? You do Black Girls Love Math. How
Mm-hmm.
for those? This might be a question for those who are entrepreneurs or aspiring to be entrepreneurs. How did you formulate the partnerships with the schools? How did you come up with the funding? How did that come about in terms of funding your programming? And how did you formulate the team for Black Girls Love Math to where it is now?
Are you asking for the blueprint? um, the blueprint is ever evolving, but leveraging human capital, meaning people who believe in the mission. That was the first way I started. I started poking around. Hey, I'm thinking about this thing. I researched the hashtag, saw it was fewer than 100 posts. I didn't come up with the name. My board chair did. Search the hashtag and then start doing the legwork, right? So how do you start a nonprofit? Do I need to do everything? I found a Black-owned company called Resilient that did my 501c3 status. I don't need to learn how to do that because that's not the best use of my time. My time is to develop a board, develop the programming, and develop the marketing strategy. But I used a lot of help. 2020, Giving Tuesday, which is like the major holiday for nonprofits, December 1st, was the first day I got on Clubhouse, and some guy said, look up capacity building grants. And that's what I looked up. And Philadelphia Foundation sponsors something called Catch a Fire, which is like LinkedIn meets Indeed. And it was like volunteers all over the nation that want to help support missions. So if you have something that you need help with, they can start. I started with the organization strategy call. I had all these ideas, and I had people saying, "You should do this, you should do this, you should do that." I'm like, I don't know where to start. So I did 3 organizational strategy calls, and one that was most profound was someone that told me I was a principal. I was a principal prior. She was like, think about it like a school. And then as I thought about the organization like a school, like what type of funding do you need? What do you need to make a new school, like a new startup happen? And I got a budget work. So I leveraged Catch a Fire a lot, which like I said, is free human capital for that to happen. And then from there, people who believed in me know what I stand for as an educator, and people who wanted to support the vision near or far. People I didn't meet, didn't know, they just help amplify the voice because I think there's a clear need for our organization to exist, and people want to help Black girls thrive like we already know how to do.
Wonderful. So you said that you mentioned that you have connections and partnerships with Philadelphia. Now you said last week you are starting a and Black Girls Love Math in Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
How that came to be Black Girls Love Math. And the second part of the question is there at some point, maybe a year or two, that the girls here in Philly will meet the girls here in Brooklyn, for like a special luncheon or something like that. So how that came to be, and is there a plan maybe a year now for the girls in the program here to meet the girls in Brooklyn?
So, to answer your question backwards, it's going to happen way quicker than a year from now. It's probably going to happen in the next 6 months. In full transparency, because our programs are starting in New York tomorrow, Brooklyn, and then in Philly on Saturday. They'll be pretty neck and neck. So when we have at the end of our programming, we are going to have like a showcase of our social justice projects, and depending on funding and approvals, of course, we'll do it virtually, but we'll also want to do something where the girls can meet in person in both ways, both Philly to Brooklyn and Brooklyn to Philly, so we can continue to expand our networks. Our How did Brooklyn come up? I used to live in Brooklyn. That's where the actual idea came. I was a principal in New York City for 4 years, and for some partnerships there. Brooklyn is very near and dear to my heart. So I knew our organization, I wanted to come home to start it. I had more access, resource, and support here. And then the goal was to always scale. So now that we're in year 4 and we're scaling, Brooklyn as our first target market. And then in a year from now, we're doing Brooklyn, Harlem, Newark, and then we're going to go to Baltimore, DMV area, any place that I can get to on Amtrak or can drive quickly, just because we need to expand our internal capacity and general operating funds. So for now, that is our focus plan, and we also are thinking about ways to use the metaverse to get girls that are in our locale.
Yeah, I think that's definitely wonderful. I've just seen the girls of two different parts connected by one vision, coming together and sharing knowledge and share wisdom and share their experiences with one another. I think that's going to be a big major thing happening for them, and just having knowing that they are part of something bigger than themselves, and so I think and now you plan to expand the Baltimore DMV, every year, try to get more girls to know about the movement, because it's so important that, that we stay connected to one another and make sure they stay synced, because you never know, they can be lifelong friends, become business partners, and be the next, just expand Black Girls Love Math into the next 10, 15 years by their involvement and their involvement in this program, and seeing how it's growing, how it could change the world, and just give more Black girls opportunities to do well in STEM, robotics, any area they set their mind to. So where for Black Girls Love Math, and where do you? Well, I'll answer your question. Where what is the ultimate goal? The ultimate goal of Black Girls Love Math. We sit back, we looking back at it maybe 10, 15, 20 years from now. Where do you see Black Girls Love Math at, and where it could be?
Black Girls Love Math in 10 to 15 years will have impact and strategy that our vision is met. So exponentially increasing the number of Black women in STEM, opening doors to other Black women in STEM. So that means that 2% will be 8%. We will be an international non-government organization. We've already been talking to people in South Africa, Kenya, and Uganda, as well as London, about how to expand our partnership. I could see us being in not every, but most of the national cities in in the United States, with programming and supporting from some of the major voices in all communities, especially the education community and the Black education community. I can see us putting on conferences, putting on symposiums for ways to continue this coalition of Black women in STEM, and how do all of us work together, our organizations, how do we develop Black women teachers that want to be math and science teachers, and basically having a footprint. We're already trademarked, so that's not going anywhere, right? But in terms of our movement and our impact, we want to kind of be household words like Girls Inc. Like people know Girls Inc. They partner with all the major people, and Girls Inc. has a lot of different cities. We want to make sure that we're impacting in the places that want and need us the most.
Right, yes, I totally agree. To put it in places where people want to partner with Black Girls Love Math and want to expand the growth of schools of STEM and just from where that number of 2%, like you said, 8%. In the next 10, 15 years, I think that number was incredibly low, and I thought it was higher than that, but it ain't always that low. But now we got organizations like Black Girls Love Math that's doing the legwork to promote it. Black girls that love STEM and make sure get girls excited about math. As they get older and get excited about passionate about math and using it in their jobs and their purposes that they are aligned to going forward. So where people can find more information about Black Girls Love Math, how to get involved, how to volunteer, how to get resources, for their child, their daughter, maybe for parents though who may not understand certain concepts or certain ways of doing certain formulas, certain math problem or something like that.
Sure. The best way to reach us is www.blackgirlsofmath.org. Follow us on socials, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Black Girls of Math, X, which was formerly known as Twitter, BGLM416. And we are pretty responsible on our platforms, and we can talk to you about how your girl, regardless of her affiliation, can become a part of our programming, and looking into maybe co-hosting a family night with the school and our other partner. We can offer that as a resource.
And can you tell us more about your opening day? I think you said my book late supposed to start tomorrow or next week. I'm mad.
So Brooklyn, we had to remix it. It's Sunday Slam, which starts tomorrow at 10 o'clock. We're partnered with Digital Girls in Brooklyn, and we're using their space. So it's a 6-week program for grades 2 to 5. So tomorrow I'll be driving to Brooklyn either tonight or early tomorrow morning. I'll be leading that teaching as it's a new marketing pilot. I want to make sure I get all the research I need for research and design. Our Philadelphia Saturday Slam starts next Saturday again at St. James School at 32nd and Clearfield. Shout out to St. James for giving us the space. So that is something that is posted on our website. It's posted on our IG. If you have any girls that you want to sign up or people want to volunteer, just check our socials. We're very active there.
So is that free for girls to sign up?
No. It's not free, but we offer sponsorship opportunities, and we ask the community to fund. We pay our instructors. We give quality snacks, quality materials. We're not making the girls feel like it's this free program. So we need support to keep our programming going. We do a pretty reasonable rate, but we offer sponsorship opportunities, and like I said, ask the general public to help offset some of those costs.
So is that the same grade range as Brooklyn, or that's a same range?
So both grades will be 2 to 5. We saw research as early as 2nd grade, girls start to think that they're not math people, or even earlier than that. So we try to keep them there. As that content gets more difficult, we want to catch them there so they can feel safe to ask questions and feel empowered.
Right. I think that's totally agreeable, because 2nd and 3rd grade, that's where the first thing the PSSAs, and I think that math is so important to know how to do certain formulas, how to write out how they got the answer. I think that's so important that they know now while they're young, while their brain's still developing, how to learn certain concepts, certain formulas, certain strategies to get the problem right, to get the answer. So it's so important starting at 2nd grade, because that's where the time the math really kicks in with the addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, problem solving, word problems. But so figuring out how to get to the answer, what process you need to do to get to the right answer. So not just write the answer, but figure out how they got the answer. So I think it's so important that our young ladies learn that, what now, and you have programs like this that can come help you further your skills in math. So it's okay to be smart in math. It's okay to be smart. There's nothing wrong with that. it's okay to get help and get support that you need as you get older. Know that you have people that are here to help you to cultivate that skill and help you elevate to the next level as you get older and get opportunities and scholarships for doing well, being an excellent math student going forward. And I want to say this, Atiyah, I want to thank you for just being who you are, finally answering the call to doing what you were called to do for young black women in Philadelphia, Brooklyn, any other state or county community that needs black girls math is very essential right now. Our community, especially in the times we're living in now, is so advanced, so advanced, so different than we had growing up. And our young ladies need this, and I hope more ladies get to know about this organization and get more sponsors, more support, because it's definitely needed and essential to our communities, and hopefully they could be in schools, in Philadelphia, more schools in Philadelphia, as we get old, as the years develop in this decade, because we're in a changed city now that we have black mayor and black woman mayor, and I think that with her support, more others, they could be in more schools. They're doing great content and providing more value to our young ladies, and also teachers in the schools as well, who are doing STEM and robotics and coding, things like that. So it's so important that I commend you for doing the work that you're doing.
Thank you.
And that that it's going to get bigger, it's going to evolve, it's going to thrive under your leadership and guidance in the next 3 to 5 years. So, so I hope I can be a part of that support. Maybe having the school and getting the word out. Having been to the school. And then because it's so important, it's so essential in our community, and I thank you for what you're doing in our community. And also in Brooklyn as well. I know they excited and looking forward to that as well. So I commend you for the work you are doing. So,
Thank you.
so my last question. So I was trying to figure the last question, but I was trying to figure out how this. So where do you see Black Girls Love Math going forward in terms of content? I know you're doing Shiro's, Soul Justice. Where do you see it going in terms of regards to the content?
So I only gave you 2 examples of our content. Our content is aligned to National Common Core standards. So it's the content that the girls are going to do. So they do a fall curriculum and a spring curriculum, which is focused, if I get real technical in education, I'm a math educator by trade and all the things. It's the major work of the grade. So 3rd grade is like fractions, multiplication, things like that. I see the content evolving into, our high school girls learn data science. And if you know anything about data science, people are petitioning for that to be an option instead of Algebra 2, just because of where the world is and why Algebra 2 was mandatory back then, is because the U.S. was trying to get to the moon before Russia. So data science is a more trending role and career for the rest of this decade, looking at 2024 and beyond. And starting salaries for girls with masters in data science is $200K. So we're trying to also show them the way you can use analytics, business analytics, social media analytics, YouTube. If you want to be an influencer, what is the math behind that? And if you want to be an entrepreneur, what is the math behind that? What's the process? So our math is our math is our math. We just make it appealing to the girls in a way that makes sense. We're also expanding to include STEAM, which includes the art components, because people who don't think they're mathematicians, they have an art brain, I would argue that that's not true, because there's different parts. If you go international, it's called maths, not just not math, because there's so many different ways to represent it. So we're looking to partner with some artists to expose them onto how math is a part of that. We stay away from coding or robotics because we partner with them. We don't want to go into that lane. We support that lane. But I feel like the art and math space is an untapped thought process. It's there, but it's not tapped in as much as we want it to be for our community. So we're already talking to Urban Arts Gallery, Richard Beaver's Gallery, and some other people to figure out how to collaborate that along with local artists.
Wonderful. That's totally awesome and great. I think that I love the response. So, Miss Atiyah Harmon, it's been a pleasure having you a guest again. I saw about last week. The view was not good. So I went up to that. I think that this worked out better.
Yes.
Hopefully, we'll definitely hopefully have you back on. Talk about what's been, give you an update about what's been going on in Brooklyn and Philly. It's,
Yes.
how that been going down the road. I just want to make sure that you have a great kickoff tomorrow in
Thank
Brooklyn
you.
and next Saturday in Philadelphia. I will spread the word about the one here in Philly next weekend. Hopefully, the weather be much better by then, so a little warmer. So your girls will come out and support you and find out more about your services. But we thank you so much for your time, your efforts, and what you're doing for our city and our community.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Have a
You
good
tell
weekend.
you weekend. Be safe.
You too. Bye.